Sometimes things that are good for you don't always taste all that good. The next segment is proof that some healthy foods are also considered culinary treasures.
Salmon is one such food. It is highly regarded by healthcare professionals because it contains high amounts of omega-3 fatty acids that are key to a healthy diet.
Tom's Place owner Lasse Sorensen invited salmon fisherman Tony Wood into his kitchen in a previous segment, where he showed us how to clean a salmon and how to prepare an easy blackened salmon dish.
Tony Wood was not finished as he had many other salmon meals on his menu. So this week he picks up where he left off and shows us 2 more easy ways to prepare this nutritious fish. We rejoin our dynamic duo as they prepare salmon teriyaki and salmon patties. Bon appetit!
So I have another recipe here, which is a teriyaki brown sugar. And basically what I've done with the teriyaki brown sugar is marinated a small cut of salmon, about 1 inch wide, and this piece here, they'll cook very fast. You don't want to use quite as much heat when you're cooking with this recipe here. You're going to cook this all the way through, and I'd like to just get a little more oil. Is that right here? And so what we're going to do here, and this was a great recipe that's so easy to make for even...
Now, how did you make the marinade again?
This is just a straight teriyaki sauce
with
some brown sugar, and I used about 1 pound of salmon and maybe 1/3 cup of teriyaki sauce and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and that I let marinate for at least a couple hours. Even overnight is great to do that. And it's just such a quick and easy marinade, and after we're done doing that, you'll see how nice this comes out here. But on the grill, this is a fantastic way that the sugar almost caramelizes in with the salmon. And so it's a sweeter salmon that a lot of people who are sensitive to spicy foods, they'll really like this. Some people really prefer the spicier type of foods, and some like a sweeter. This is definitely on the sweeter side with the brown sugar. Now with this too, you can even add a little bit of ginger or wasabi to give it a little kick on the backside. And you'll see with these, I'll even just turn them on their sides, and basically you're going to roll them through and cook a little bit on each side, and they'll be done. But again, don't overcook. It's such an easy mistake to make.
Then it gets real dry.
Right, and if the salmon is dry at all to you, you overcooked it. So it should just come apart in your mouth and break apart with your tongue. Now, a lot of times when you cook a lot of salmon, you'll have leftovers, and so I have a great recipe that we're going to do for the leftover salmon, which is a salmon patty. And this will be done here in about another minute.
And you had decided you were going to do some flash fried spinach with this?
That is what I typically like to do. It's easy, it's fast, and it's something that anybody can do, so I guess we'll go ahead and get that. I'll use this pan that has the flavor from before. And you can see in this here, the brown sugar will burn before anything else will, and it'll start to actually caramelize. So you want to be careful with the heat that you put on it. And again, this will finish cooking, and I was just testing it with my fingers. This will finish cooking on the plate. You let it sit for just a couple of minutes, and this will be absolutely perfect. This one's a little bit thicker, this piece here, so we'll let that sit for another minute. But here we're going to go ahead and flash fry some spinach.
It smells great.
Where do you taste it?
And this is pretty healthy, isn't it?
This is as healthy as it gets. You can't. Olive oil is what we're using.
This is against everything that I do. You know, I like the cream and butter and everything.
Well, I like that too. But for people who are very health conscious, or if you have high cholesterol, this is the #1 recommended food. And it's not very often you find a food that is fantastic tasting and still very good for you.
Yeah.
So it's a great combination. And the price of salmon really has come down, of wild salmon, compared to what it used to. So there's a lot of people who have, you know, thought that salmon is really an expensive, unusual.
Now let's talk about, you know, there is, so people would know the difference between wild salmon and farm-raised salmon.
Well, it's with the new labeling laws that have come out in the last 5 years, it's very hard for someone to sneak a farm-raised salmon across on you. And so what we have is, with the new labeling laws, it will say what it is. Wild. Typically, a farm-raised salmon will always have color added. They feed those farm-raised fish dye before they harvest them, because the meat that they have before they get color added is actually white. It's not pink or red. And so that's the significant thing with a wild salmon, is the color is natural. There's no additives to it. They get that color from the different species of plankton, krill, shrimp, herring, the things that they're preying on in Alaska. Now, the sockeye is the only one that just eats plankton and krill, and which is why it has the richest of all the omegas and the rich color and the sustainability. It's a fish that can't be over-harvested out in the open seas. The harvesting all happens as they're returning to the rivers, and so the harvesting that happens at that point is very regulated.
Okay.
In fact, there's more sockeye now than ever before.
And here it is, teriyaki, wild Alaskan salmon with flash fried spinach.
And sockeye is what you want.
Okay.